Today's video is going to be a very quick one because we are in a shifting market. There are a lot of properties now coming to the market. I think when I checked yesterday, we were at 4,600 or so listings currently on the market in the Fraser Valley. And at the beginning of the year, that number was around 1,400 listings. And that is going to result in the decline of competing offers. And I'm going to discuss something that you need to know if you're trying to get your home sold. I think it's good information for everybody in the real estate market to know and understand, but particularly if you are struggling to get your home sold right now in this market because you think that the market has crashed, you're going to want to watch this video all the way through because it's a message that you need to understand in order to get your home sold. And with an emphasis on trying to keep this video short today, I'm going to really quickly ask you to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to stay up to date on my marketplace here in Surrey and the Fraser Valley. And remember that every time you click the like button, it helps me get this information out to more people in the area that are also trying to get their homes sold. So you clicking the like button really helps out other people in your same situation. And of course, if you're having trouble understanding today's market and think that the market is going to crash, don't worry, it hasn't crashed, but we are headed for a decline. And if you're upset that you have unfortunately missed the crazy market and we're just going to have to go back into normalcy, but you don't know what that means and you need help guiding through the process of getting your home sold so you can get on to the next step in your life, remember that you can book a call with me right now down below using the link in the description at a time that works best for you. So now let's talk a little bit about the shift in the market, because over the last little while we have been in a seller's market. What that means is, for all intents and purposes, you can put a sign in the ground. You could know that after being 4 or 5 days on the market, you're going to end up not only with one offer, but you're likely going to end up with multiple offers. Then the buyers are the ones that have to compete in order to win the home. The reason this happens is because there are not enough listings on the market and there are more buyers than listings. So prices will go up as those buyers offer on the property and end up having to make their offers better in order to actually win the property. When buyers are competing, there are a bunch of terms in the contract that they can compete on. But realistically, we have two that stick out more than anything. And those are price and the amount of conditions. Now, this is going to be very, very important because I don't want you to confuse it with what sellers are going to have to do here very shortly. It's all going to sound very much the same. So if you are a buyer and you're in the marketplace and there are, let's call it 10 offers on a property, you can increase your price, and currently in the market anyway, it may change this summer, but you can remove the amount of conditions you have in your offer. The fewer conditions means it's a greater chance for the seller to get the home sold with less of a headache. So as a buyer, you can offer a very, very high price, meaning you're competing on the price. But you can also offer no or little conditions, meaning you're competing on the amount of conditions that you have in the contract. And if you have no conditions, that means your price is firm right now today. But we are in a changing market.
Yeah, the whole thing's going to blow up, right?
No, we're not in blow up territory yet. We're not in crash territory yet. We're not there. We are in a transitioning market, and believe it or not, we are still in a seller's market in most places. However, we are going to get to the spot where we do get into a balanced market in many places and possibly into a buyer's market. And if you're selling your property in a buyer's market, that means it's beneficial for the buyer and prices will be coming down. So here's what you need to think about. The same way that in a seller's market, a buyer needs to compete, in a buyer's market, a seller needs to learn how to compete.
Well, why is that?
Well, similar to a seller's market, but in reverse, a buyer's market means that there are not many buyers and there are a lot of listings. So if you're trying to get your home sold and you're in a buyer's market, or even a balanced market for that matter, you now have to put yourself in the same mindset that the buyer was in when the tables were turned. Because now essentially you are competing listings rather than competing offers. So what can a seller do? Well, the same thing that a buyer could have done, except with a little bit of a difference. First, they can compete on price. When a buyer is competing in a seller's market on price, they have to increase their price. However, when a seller is competing in a buyer's market, should we get there, they have to compete on price. but in the other direction. So if you find yourself in, let's call it a balanced market between 5 and 7 months supply, or 7 to 10 months supply in a buyer's market, you likely very well have to be the best priced home in order to get your property sold. But just like buyers have to compete on the amount of conditions that they have in their offers when it's a seller's market, sellers actually do have to compete in a buyer's market also with condition of the property, that is. So the homes that are in great shape in a buyer's market will still sell because there are still buyers out there. But the properties that are in terrible condition, well, they cannot compete on condition. So now guess what? They have to compete on price. So if your home is not in fantastic condition, and right now you have to be about a 7.5 out of 10 or higher in order to get your home sold in this market, well, if you don't have that condition, you have no other choice but to compete on price. And if there are not that many buyers out there for your particular type of property, you have to bring your price down in order to get sold. So with rising interest rates, everybody out there that's having trouble, know the market has not come back 40%. It's not the crash. It's none of that stuff. But you're not going to get the same price you would have got should you have been on the market in February or the beginning of March. And if your home cannot compete on condition, you got to change the price. If you're having trouble determining what that price is, well, you can book a call with me right now down below in the description with just a few simple clicks to see how me and my team can help you sell. And of course, if you'd like to stay up to date on my marketplace here in Surrey, please remember to subscribe, click the like button, check out another video before you go, and we'll see you in a couple of days.